right, we are live, folks. Good evening. We are talking about the Airline Academy students only beyond this point. So, unless you attended the Airline Academy, you may not be familiar with some of the things that we're about to show you. And this is where the Airline Academy students were housed. And this is called the Sun and Surf. So I also have another student that was a victim of the Airline Academy diploma mill scam, and I will introduce you to her. Her name is Kim Brown. Kim Brown, go ahead.
Hi, Stacy. Thank you for having me on your post. And we're here to talk about the Airline Academy and JetBlue. And I think we're going to talk about the Sun and Surf Motel.
Yeah, we're talking about the Sun and Surf Motel, where they house students that attended the Airline Academy. Now, if you look at this, you know, it's got a welcome sign. You know, it's old, it's run down looking. They bought some chairs to put out there.
Well, when I first seen it, I thought to myself, this is something out of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Because if you notice the Sun and Surf sign right out front, it looks just like a headstone.
Yeah, it's this one right here.
Yeah, it looks just like a headstone. It says Sun and Surf Motel. Does that not look like a headstone?
Yeah, I know, right?
So, I mean, it looks...
Oh, the headstone. I haven't shown that part yet. I just did the welcome sign first.
Oh, the welcome. Welcome. That makes you feel warm and cuddly in that.
Yeah, all nice and welcome, where this is open access to the public. Now, we're going to talk about these rooms, okay?
Let's do. Because you stayed there, right? I didn't stay at the Sun and Surf Motel.
Yeah.
They told me that I could. I think Bill Stevens, the owner, so they had, the owners of the Sun and Surf Motel are William F. Stevens and his daughter, Angela Molino Stevens.
Angelino Molino.
Angela Molino. And that's Bill's.
Hey, I can pull that up on my phone while we're talking also.
Yeah.
And help everybody, you know, understand. Because, see, now that, you know, our country has been attacked by, you know, all different kinds of ways, it's been super hard for us to get the truth out about people. So let me find Bill Stevens. Where is he at? Cynthia Stevens, where are you at? Scrolling through the phone. Scroll. But this hotel is like, let's talk about the hotel though. It was never really regulated to house, you know, students, period, there.
Yeah, so from what I understand is that the year of that I went to the Airline Academy was in 2014.
Yeah, that's Bill Stevens right there.
Jill Maker Stevens and Cynthia Fisher Stevens, which is Bill Stevens' daughter, had went up to the Building Codes Department to get a permit to house students at the Sun and Surf Motel. Well, now granted, they've been housing students in this motel for about 10 years or so, and they were turned down.
I think we were housing them longer than that, though, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it was maybe about 14 years. And
oh, they're checking my credit now. Wonderful.
So, and why are you saying that? Because
we're talking truth right now, and we're live on YouTube.
No, I'm saying tell them why you're saying that. Tell.
Because they've stolen my identity wrongfully. They submitted documentation into the Tampa Bay workforce in Tampa, Florida, when I was trying to reestablish myself after a traumatic events that I had went through in my life, and I wanted to pursue a career as a flight attendant. and I actually ended up finding them through the Tampa Bay workforce and through their advertising on Facebook and YouTube, and their website.
Well,
Um,
that's amazing though, because your recruiter knew that you didn't, at the time you didn't have the money to go, and he was the one that that kind of he helped you fill out your paperwork for the workforce, Tampa Bay workforce,
mm-hmm.
so you could get state funding. And he actually filled out some of your paperwork without you even knowing what he put on there, right?
Yeah, his name. He's a high-powered compute recruiter, and his name is Lance Shirtliff.
Lance Shirtliff.
I've got his business card here.
Yeah, he works the Central Florida, South Florida area. That's his little area, because they have nearly 100 recruiters throughout America. And they have different locations of the Airline Academy under different names, like Jumpstart, Flight Attendant Express.
He's got on his business card here, it says, "We go above and beyond with Lance Shirtliff, BA, MA, Pilot Admissions, SE Region." So if Mr. Shirtliff came to you and told you that he could send you to the Airline Academy to be a pilot or a flight attendant, he lied to you.
Yeah, because they can't provide any of that. They cannot provide any of that. And my recruiter, she was Sharon Rowe. I think her real name is Prochnow Rowe.
Oh, let me find her.
And she was from Arizona.
Arizona?
The Arizona area, and there's been quite a few complaints about Sharon Rowe in Arizona that has recruited them. What they do, what some of the recruiters, and these are high-powered sales representatives that are selling this fake flight attendant program, because that's the only program that the Airline Academy offers. But I would like to give a warning, in case they, try to somehow they stop your little post here. I mean, because these people are creepers. They have hacked into our computers, and they scrape their own complaints off the internet. So I would like to make sure that everybody knows that the Airline Academy is not an airline, and the Airline Academy is not a real bona fide academy that's accredited by the Department of Education. So really, what is the Airline Academy? It's nothing. And I think that if it's anything that I would like to try to get out there to help other people, to warn them not to go to the Airline Academy and waste their money, because this is a warning. I mean, we're trying to help other people and help them, not to waste their money, and help them realize that there's scams out there, and we thought all this was real.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you've got, like, in-flight managers, and I'm gonna go through here on my phone real quick so everybody can see this real time.
Well, they actually have the
managers named Jennifer. Her name is Jennifer Lantis. She's an in-flight recruiter coordinator at Atlantic Southeast Airlines, with the Airline Academy advertising on it. Basically telling you that, you go to the Airline Academy, and Mr. or Mrs. Lantis, she gets any kind of recommendations from who, like Kathy Stanford. They're going to make sure that you get a job, right? Wrong.
Well,
Wrong.
That's the program. It's part of the program is lifetime job placement. That's one of the pitches that the recruiters give you: lifetime job placement. They give you IRS tax education breaks.
Yeah, I got the lifetime job placement up here.
They give a certification in flight attending, and that's their sales pitch. And then whenever you get there is no flight attendant training. It's just a bunch of various tourism and a lot about See, William F. Stevens has a dispatcher certification, and
Oh,
this
let's go back to
whole,
Mr. William Stevens.
yeah, show him. But this whole program, this whole scam, this racket between JetBlue and the Airline Academy has been constructed around William F. Stevens' dispatcher certification that he has not used in about 15 plus years. He doesn't even use it.
Well, what does he do for a living? What has he done for a living?
He's just a con artist. He's misused his FAA credential in order to lure people into a program, to make his program appear as if it's legitimate and that it is authorized by the FAA. Whenever you cannot use a dispatcher certification to teach flight attending, you cannot use a pilot certification to teach flight attending. The only way that you can get a certification in flight attending is if you go through an airline, and that airline will license you with a 14 CFR 121 license. That's the only way that you can get a flight attendant license is through an airline. So no street school can come out here and teach you flight attendant. They cannot provide you a job as a flight attendant. Airline Academy didn't provide no one a job. Let's get that out on the table too.
Yeah, Bill, you didn't provide nobody a job, and this garbage, this phase one, how they get you, how they mislead you and think that you're gonna go to a real flight attendant school. They give you like literature that doesn't even necessarily make sense. It's like something you would learn in kindergarten.
Well, in the program, yeah, it's definitely a bogus program that's based on some old dispatcher material of William F. Stevens, because he put it into the material in order to make his class appear as if it was FAA certified, in case an FAA they have people who are designated to come and review the program and regulate his dispatcher license. So he gets reviewed once a year, and I actually made an appointment with the FAA dispatcher regulator and went to go speak with them in Orlando, and she stated that it was real creepy because they would go to the Sun and Surf. That was the address of the location for the dispatcher class. That she would go into the student classroom, and there would be a few tables there, and there would be a dispatcher book on the table, and there would never ever be any students.
Yeah, I remember Tammy telling us that when they got fired because they were trying to cover up their crimes at this hotel that they housed us at.
They were going to tear the Sun and Surf down, and so they kicked the house parents out of the motel, and at that time, I guess they were on the verge of they were firing them at that time.
Well, what I'm looking at right here is right here where these double doors are. This room right here was shut down before our class.
I heard a lot of the rooms were shut down, that there was nothing in them, that they didn't have floors in them or ceilings. And
yeah, I mean there was pipes burst or something, and they had to put like new piping in because the piping was old and rusty, and
I don't envision them doing anything new to that place. That place was so run down. They put very little money into it to keep it going.
All they did was paint the outside of it.
Yeah, that we know that we were there, and all this is, to me, it's pretty interesting. We were there just a few months after they shut the Sun and Surf down, and it was just literally held together by cheap Band-Aids. And if you've ever put a cheap Band-Aid on a cut, it never does stay together at all. I'm talking, it just falls apart. It's like
it's just like it's like a haircut. They just gave it a haircut.
I don't even think they did that. I mean, they literally slapped paint on, tape that was falling down off the ceilings. It was just rust everywhere.
Yeah, there's cracks all around
the
the
foundation.
pool, the foundation.
Was
This
cracked.
was hey, let's talk about James Mahita.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's go back.
But the reason why I'm saying this is because this is what he actually seen.
Yeah, with that, well, you know, you got a point there because James Mahita has a website called the Airline Academy Review, and it's called Fair Warning, the Airline Academy Review. And if we can, we might be able to put a link onto that after you get done with this. Might be a good idea because James Mahita had an awful experience. He and another student was in one of the rooms there, staying at the Sun and Surf, going to the Airline Academy program, and it was a storm that came through Daytona, and it flooded their room, and the house parents actually made them clean up their own room, go out and buy their own steam cleaner to clean the carpets. They asked to be switched over to another room, and they would not let them. They kept them in that room, and they made them clean up their own nasty floors.
Man, you can even see on the bottom of this door right here in this picture.
Oh my gosh, he's got some good pictures too.
Yeah, the door down there, it's like molded and corroded.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see where it had flooded in that room that he was in.
Yeah, that's just an example of their character, the character of these people. And the reason why they never fixed up the motel is because basically the motel was being used as a prostitution motel. And they had a prostitution ring across the street. There was a liquor store, pizza place called Giovanni's. And to back that up, we have a insert. I hope that you could put that insert in there of Heather Beaver.
Oh, yes. Heather Beaver.
There was a shooting at Sun and Surf in 2013 or 2014. I think it was 13 right after you went.
Yeah, let me pull up Miss Heather Beaver, bless her. Man, they put that girl through all kinds of mess.
She was a student at the Airline Academy, and she had stayed through the weekend for Biker Week down there. And her boyfriend got caught up with some prostitutions across the street, and she came back and found out about it, and she got her boyfriend's gun that he was carrying around with him. He was a biker dude, and he was carrying a gun. It was a semi-automatic gun, and I don't know what it was, kind of what it was. But if you read the article, it's very interesting. It's a very good read. Go to the Huffington Post. Go to Heather Beaver shooting at Sun and Surf. But we'll try to put in some kind of link to it, or try to get some documentation for you to see that. But that's just another example of how, this was a rat trap of a motel they were putting students in. When I saw it, me and my daughter went to the Airline Academy / JetBlue program.
Oh, I found Heather.
Do what?
I found Heather. Hold on.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that girl, but when you look at the police documents that are on file in the Volusia County court system, the Airline Academy has had most of the event has been scraped off of the police records, totally blacked out, where you can't even read about what's going on. The Sun and Surf is never mentioned in the police records, and none of the owners' names are ever mentioned in the police records. But that's typical of William F. Stevens and Jill Nicker Stevens and Cynthia Fisher Stevens. This is a family-owned racket. This is a diploma mill, and it's nasty. And these are nasty people, and they have no regard for humankind. They're dark souls. I don't know what to say.
I mean, let's keep talking about the housing, though.
Okay, so the housing, the Sun and Surf, was...
And the Heather Beaver part, because let's not forget, they tried to hide that. And on the, the student housing Sun and Surf motel shooting, Source News, Huffington Post.
Yeah, that's one of the places that it is.
Yeah, we got the Huffington Post, folks. We're going to show that.
Well, it's just, it blows my mind that they would allow students to stay in a rat trap like this.
It even says March 15th, 2013, Daytona Beach police said officers were called to Sun and Surf Motel. Yeah, and Wednesday, when Heather Beaver. See, they're trying to keep me from seeing all of it. Arrested spring break babe, angry.
Yeah, I read that one.
Babe, how dare them?
Well, she's it sounds like they put her in a category of the hookers across the street.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had a picture of Giovanni's, man.
Yeah, but I do, but I'll have to get that out and show it to you sometime. But there's a liquor store across the street. But this is some interesting points about the Sun and Surf. It was advertised in their advertisement as their housing. I have an insert right here. Let me read this real fast, and maybe I can get this over to you so that you can show it to everybody. The Sun and Surf student housing. Now, this was advertised in the recruiting manual. This was advertised by the recruiters, the high-powered sales representatives. And they were supplying a place for them to stay if they enrolled in the program, and a 4-week program, and you were going to get certifications through JetBlue and the Airline Academy in flight attendant. That's basically, and it's all IRS tax education breaks, that you can use on your personal income tax if you go to the school. And they're going to let you have lifetime job placement. We're going to make sure you always have a job. And so the truth of the matter was,
they were paying off the city officials to keep passing the what is it, the inspections?
Yeah, they would pay off the city officials. They would make friends with them. They would ask the house parents, was it theirs? Was it their inspectors that they were friendly with? And then they would they would close off, everything but maybe 10 rooms. And, that hotel probably had about, how many rooms do you think it had? 50?
Yeah.
50 or 60? And they would tell the inspectors that there were people staying in the rooms, that they couldn't go into those whenever there was nobody in those rooms, and that only about 10 of them was rigged or set up to look as if they were set up for hotel purposes. Granted, let's not forget that Bill Stevens, Jill Stevens, and Cynthia Fisher Stevens went up to the codes department, the building codes department, to get a student housing permit, and they were turned down.
Oh, let's show them who.
So bad it couldn't get passed.
This is so they can follow along with everybody. This is Jill and the house parent.
Let me include one more thing. They were turned down, but the point of this is that they never had a student housing permit, and they were housing students here. And even after they got turned down, they kept housing students there. And the irony of this is that Jillian Micker Stevens, the wife of Bill Stevens, the owner of the Airline Academy, she's a realtor. And she knew better.
Yeah. They all knew better.
She knew better to be housing students in this rat trap. That if this was a real school, this school would have had a regulated housing, it would have had a regulated program, it would have had a regulated transportation. Everything about the school would have been regulated, and nothing was regulated. The instructors were not real FAA instructors. The house parents were off the street people. The people that worked there, some of them were ex-cons. Nobody
Let me show some instructors. Ooh, let me show you Bill and Connie. This is Bill and Connie, and I don't know who this lady is. She's probably in it too. They're all in it.
When you get done with that, I want to read this insert about the Sun and Surf student housing.
Okay, go ahead. I got Bill and Connie on deck.
Oh,
I mean, why
sorry.
not? You know, when I invited them to the post, being they're the ones that, you know, stole our identity and basically took everyone's dreams away.
And I think that's probably right up there with the abuse, emotional, verbal abuse, and putting you in a nasty hotel is basically physical abuse, but and a health hazard. But the Airline Academy, the recruiters basically stole our personal identity information, our social security numbers, our bank account numbers. They took money off of our bank cards, and they went into a lot of students' homes without any kind of background checks or fingerprints on with the state, and that is a requirement for any kind of solicitors. So these people really subjected the students, the people, the citizens throughout America and abroad. They subjected everybody, and they still are ongoing. This is a program that's still going on today, that they are subjecting everyone who goes there into danger.
I can't believe they let the police, you know, even the police. I can't believe that no one was, you know, brought attention to all the criminal activity that was going on over here at this hotel. And
well, that just shows you that they, you know, whenever you rub elbows with the right people and you're friends with the chief of police and you know, and you know a few people that they look over, they just choose to look the other way.
well, that's not cool, man. You're supposed to
That's
be.
not,
I mean, imagine you know, you're sending your daughter, your son.
yeah.
You know.
But it's a diploma mill. It's a diploma mill.
Yeah.
They were caught. They're all con artists. It's a racketeer, organized crime syndicate. JetBlue and Airline Academy are partners in crime. Let me read this Sun and Surf student housing insert real quick, since we're talking about the Sun and Surf. It says the Airline Academy leases a retro 60s style furnished oceanfront efficiency motel. Well, we know why it's retro, don't we?
It's ghetto. It's not regulated. It's old.
When other hotels would shut down and get rid of their old furnitures that were next to them, because there's quite a few hotels through there.
Yeah, they were selling and trading all kinds of property.
Exactly. So none of their furniture matched. So they called it retro, when really it was just none of it matched. They went out and got secondhand furniture from all these other hotels and put in their hotel, and they called it retro. So that whenever it looked funky, and you would have a name for it. And that's disgusting. And it says, complete with pool for the exclusive use of our resident students, and the pool had a big crack in it. It was nasty. The water was dirty. These people were basically holding that whole building together with, I don't know, Elmer's glue. I would say Elmer's glue is a little bit, it describes it better.
Let's talk about Bill, though, and his daughter. Let's talk about his daughter, who's the treasurer.
Yeah, hold on. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me finish this. It says, the rooms are fully equipped with furniture, dishes, kitchen utensils, TV, and a small kitchen appliances. A coin-operated laundry facility is on the site. A community room is provided for study and for group activities, such as a movie night, board games, cards, karaoke, and socializing. House parents live on site for supervisory purposes.
They lived up here.
As well as providing transportation to and from classes and shopping. So to me, this was important right here, because see, they had a van that was parked at the Sun and Surf Motel that was there to make sure that the students got to their classes, because under the laws of any kind of federal or state funding, that the program, the kid has to be in the program for at least a week in order for the Airline Academy to keep the money.
Yeah, like they did another diploma mill.
Yeah, another diploma mill that was a federal case that was busted by Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of Florida. Was called the Fast Train. And Fast Train was a fake school diploma mill down in Miami that was bringing in prostitutes to sign up for the classes. They would house them in these hotels, and they would use their own transportation to get them back and forth to classes for the first week to make sure that they got their money.
Yeah.
And then they would find some reason to send them home. Exactly the way the Airline Academy operates. So this is a diploma mill. The Airline Academy is a diploma mill. It's ran by some cheesy con artists that are rubbing elbows with people in the FAA and throughout the city of Daytona Beach. There's a lot of gambling in Daytona Beach. You got the car races,
Indy 500.
There's a casino right behind the airport.
Yeah.
There's horse racing over there. There's lots of gambling going on and lots of other drug dealing, and it's just a very dirty, nasty place. And the Airline Academy has helped to make Daytona Beach fall.
Yeah.
It has contributed to making Daytona Beach fall. It's really a disgusting place, and they are bringing in trash into the place, through their wheeling and dealing, and through their whenever you're dealing with people like this, they're into everything.
Well, especially whenever they're trying to be like Geico, the little gecko that changes in like a chameleon type. He changes, form to be able to, blend in, so it's, he's not recognized.
Well, that's funny for you to bring that up, because that's where we go back into the Sun and Surf business records, where Angela Molino, Bill Stevens, and Jillian Nickerstevens' name is on this. And
oh, I found another one of Jill. Let's post her.
Let's do. And we have to talk about the idea that these people are gamblers, and they've taken good hard-earned money of people, the good people, citizens, lured them into a program, tricked them with deceptive advertising from JetBlue, and JetBlue's in on it. JetBlue has helped provide it. Even our program books, the first chapter of our program books was dedicated to JetBlue. So everything that we did, we believed that we were going to JetBlue. From the beginning, they make you feel like you're in an interview so that you would not complain about nothing. And
yeah, they threatened you, man. They would tell you, if you post anything on social media, while you're attending, you'll be sent home.
Without a refund.
Yeah, without a refund.
Yeah, so that was a big deal. They didn't want you to post anything negative about their program. In fact, our class had to sign a waiver on the very first day. And that, to me, is like an admission of guilt right there that this is a scam, right?
Exactly.
So even your class and our classes, we found out that what they do is on the first day of class, they also give a couple of the students cameras.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They give cameras. I guess they dish out about 4 or 5 of them. And everybody's taking pictures of everybody doing stuff. And they're hoping to get some good shots of people doing partying and doing stuff they shouldn't do, because they tell us that they're going to use the pictures in their advertising, and when really they use the pictures against you. If you find out the program's a scam, you realize it, and they know that when they find out that from that point on, you get submarine.
Yep.
For the duration of the program.
That's why Jill got mad. She got pissed off when she said, Stacy, where's all the pictures? I was like, that's all I took. There's no way that you just took only 50 pictures. There was 2,000 pictures on this phone. And I'm like, well, they were pictures of us. And, I don't think you need these pictures. And I actually helped out a lot of my classmates, because I was, I started paying attention to things that were going on. I was like, hey, man, why do you need all these pictures of us?
Yeah, so Stacy was given a camera. She was
I'm a
given
picture freak. I love to take pictures.
yeah, she was given a camera on the first day of class and told to take pictures of everything. And so I didn't know too much about. I didn't really care because again, I didn't stay at the Center Surf Hotel, but whoever was taking pictures, they would take pictures of the classroom inside of the airport and stuff like that. And when we got to JetBlue, they took pictures of the training portion. So they wouldn't have to be there doing it. They gave them to the students so they could do it. They could be the little informants that believed they were having a good time, but yet they were in on the informing them of what the students were doing.
Yep.
And I didn't realize really how significant these pictures were until 2015, 2016, when me and 5 other students did a class action suit against the Airline Academy. And we had a star hearing. It was all a sham. It was in Volusia County. Our judge was Dennis Craig, Volusia County. And I represented the students. Nobody else could show up because they were out of state or lived in South Florida, or they just couldn't make it. So I was there representing the students. And basically it was a star hearing, and there never was any kind of judgment. We had to recuse the judge twice, which means we asked the judge to step down because he was like in, you could tell that he was in cahoots with Airline Academy and their lawyer.
Yeah.
And he shut us down, or shut me down, or me and the students down, because our lawyer had showed a picture of the recruiter manual. And on the first or second page of the recruiter manual, it actually states that it talks about their credentials. And when the judge saw that in their advertising, that they were actually advertising that it says the Airline Academy is certified by the U.S. Department of Transportation and Federal Aviation Administration in concordance with Federal Aviation Regulations of 65 and FAR 61. So Part 65 and Part 61 of the Federal Aviation Regulations, it only refers to dispatching and pilot training.
So we're looking at my diploma that has my name on it, and looks similar to yours.
Does it say dispatching?
No.
Does it say that you were a pilot?
No.
Does it say that you were certified flight attendant?
Oh, it does say something a little like that.
It says that you were what?
It says the Airline Academy certifies that Stacy Kennedy has successfully completed the academic and training requirements as set forth by the Academy's Board of Advisors, along with the president, and thereby presented with a certificate of graduation. What the heck is a certificate of graduation?
I know, mine says the same. Yours says is a little bit actually more jazzier than mine. Mine says the same thing. Don't you feel stupid for going to this place?
Yeah.
I think I think I'd written a complaint, or somebody else had written a complaint online, and the Airline Academy goes into, if you put a complaint in on the Airline Academy online and you don't see it anymore, it's because the Airline Academy goes.
They're paying the Better Business Bureau to take it down because they took down my stuff.
Well, that's through the Better Business Bureau, but they pay hackers to go in there and scrape their complaints off.
Oh, like Kathy's son, she sent to college.
Yeah, I'm sure the school was accredited, right? Ours wasn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this FAR 65 and FAR 61 is important to bring up because this appeared to make the program look real. It made it look like it was a real FAA school, when really Bill Stevens was using his irrelevant dispatcher certification information into the ads, making it appear as if it was a real school that we were going to get trained for flight attending. Whenever the bottom line is you cannot use a dispatcher certification to teach flight attending.
But how did we find that out, though?
It took a long time. I've spent years of researching what these people have done and how they were able to do it, because they intentionally made their program very confusing. It was just like a spider web. They have intentionally made it confusing so that people couldn't figure it out, and they have worked for years trying to make it appear real. It's kind of like a setting for a movie, whenever the backside of it is nothing but a piece of cardboard.
Well, what about the house parents? How we met? Because how we met, the house parents were like, they were afraid that they weren't going to have no more, income coming in. And
before you say anything else, what Stacy's talking about is that during the time whenever we was taking the Airline Academy to court, remember, we never got to court. We never got our day in court. We never got a jury. We never got a judgment. They put a $30,000 bond on me and the students, that if we wanted to continue on with the case, that we had to come up with $30,000 to go on with the case. And we didn't do anything. It's not like, that's totally against the laws. You cannot put bonds like that on somebody on the students for doing nothing. And so we recused the judge, and we recused him again. He refused to get down, and so we dismissed the case. We dismissed the case. But in the documents, they say they're the ones that dismissed it, whenever we're the ones that did it first.
And the judge is who?
The judge is Dennis Craig, and they manipulated all the documents, just like they did Heather Beaver's documents that were in the police department.
Oh, yeah, from the Sun and Surf shooting.
Absolutely. So these people are really in ties with people in high places. Now, Judge Perkins in Volusia County, he was pretty cool. He helped us out he came to our rescue on the very last day, whenever the attorney, Jennifer Moorhead, was wanting to get attorney fees.
Who is she?
She is the attorney for the Airline Academy.
Whoa.
And
what do you know about Jennifer Moorhead?
Jennifer Moorhead, she's a real estate lawyer. She's a real estate attorney, yeah, because Jill is into real estate, and a lot of people that work at the Airline Academy are into real estate.
Right.
They're all con artists.
But how can you be a real estate attorney and you're dealing with education and aviation laws?
Well, they don't. That's just it. These people don't have anything to do with the FAA or the DOE, Department of Education. The school is not a real school. It's not an accredited school by the Department of Education. The Airline Academy is not a real airline, and the Airline Academy is not a real academy. They were working under JetBlue's advertising, under their reputation, because JetBlue is an airline.
So we're going to leave it at that tonight, folks. This is just our introduction.
A whole lot more.
And there's tons more to come. We're new to this, so we just want to bring awareness to other people that are seeking to reestablish themselves in the aviation industry. And the reason why I say the aviation industry specifically is because how we were scammed. And we're going to go into a little bit more detail and more depth of how they were able to do this. And we'll talk about that on our next post. If you went to the Airline Academy, I don't care what year you went. If you got Sally Mae, if you're still paying on Sally Mae, if you got WIA, which is through like government grants, please reach out to us. Drop your email in there.
I suggest
share what class you were in, what year you were there, and
it's not too late. They can still put a report into the Attorney General.
Yeah, because they are doing an informal investigation right now.
Yeah.
And God bless Ashley Moody, because Pam Bondi, I don't know what happened with her. She kind of like dropped off. You know, so we will talk more about that. Kim, I appreciate you coming on tonight with us.
Sure.
And
Anytime.
if it's okay, I'd like to have you back on tomorrow because you have a lot of information that connects the dots with all of this, and so do I, and along with other people. And that's another way they were able to keep everybody from knowing what was going on. And that's what the devil does. He conquers and divides. And, just like they're doing with the whole mask thing with COVID now, you don't know who's who, like Sleepy Joe. So, we will touch base with you guys tomorrow, and we appreciate you joining us.
I would like to say this. I would like to say this real quick.
Okay.
There is there's dark forces out here, and we all know it. More now than we've ever seen it before, ever.
Oh man.
And
we got so much stuff. I mean, it's like taking forever to dig it up.
Yes, people like the Airline Academy are so messed up. These people are messed up, and they're very evil, and they only see dollar signs. They're con artists. They're racketeers.
Especially this guy right here, William F. Stevens.
Yeah.
And Jillia Micker Stevens and Cynthia Fisher Stevens. Let's talk more about how they did all this tomorrow on our next post, because we don't want to tell everybody everything. We want everybody to do their own research if you don't believe what we're saying.
If you did go to Airline Academy, I would like to say this.
We want to interview you. We want to talk to you.
Yes, don't feel bad about going to the Airline Academy and not getting a job, or feeling that, you're feeling like something's not right.
Or if you couldn't speak English and you were made fun of by any of the fake instructors, that none of them had any kind of, license to teach or were regulated. So if your teacher was Connie, if it was Maria Nicholson, if it was Kathy Stanford and her husband, what was his name? Dan something. I can't remember. But we're going to show all those faces tomorrow so you can put faces with names, because I've always been, bad with names, but I'll never forget a face.
Well, you never forget these faces, and if there's anybody who needed a mask, it is these people.
That's right.
Because these are very, very dark people. But we'd love to hear your story. We'd love to hear about your experience if you went to the Airline Academy, and if you're looking for a flight attendant school, don't look at the Airline Academy. Don't waste your money there, because for $7,000 you could pay for a 2-year degree or for a nice certificate somewhere from an accredited school.
And we'll tell you how we figured that out.
Yeah.
On the next one. But thanks so much for joining us tonight, and God bless, and stay awake, and don't go to the Airline Academy, because they will rip you off and steal your identity.